asking, this isn't the shop. This isn't the garage. No, we're actually 4.5 hours away from home. We are actually at Bob Farley's garage up in Towanda, PA. And, well, surprise, here is the build of the first gen. I painted it of last year, and we've talked about ever since putting it on air ride, doing a full interior, and doing a custom engine bay. And needless to say, we are here, we are doing it, and we're in the middle of it. It's been pretty crazy the last month, trying to manage, trying to create a schedule, trying to get in the flow of running a full-blown business. I have picked up substantially, and I can't thank you guys enough for all the support and just me being to build what I like, what I think is cool, some of the stuff that's different and whatnot, that other people won't touch, I'll touch. And it's been a crazy lifestyle. So I'm up here, I got everything squared away at home, drove up here of Tuesday night, got situated, got unpacked, and now I have my own little studio back here basically to record, to work, and to have fun and kind of vibe in a sense. So interior's kind of out. We gotta rip the door trim pieces off, some of the interior trim pieces as well, after it almost hits me in the face. But we're gonna get all this going. I'm not gonna record this, it's not that exciting. But here we are. Here is the first gen build. Get ready, because this is gonna be a long video and a long series, because I got a lot to share of this, so stay tuned. So you seen in that last clip, we are working on the interior, and here we are. So we got part one. So with part one, basically, I'll go over this whole interior later on, but for part one, we are doing the headliner. So let's focus on that. With the headliner, we got it reinforced with some cardboard around here. We are putting a starlight in it, and we are wrapping it with cow print. So this cow print's actually really sick because it's brown, and the brown matches the first gen. So reinforced it, put the cardboard down. Some of the old headliners back in the late 50s and probably earlier on, and I would say probably years after too, they used cardboard. That was actually part of it. Then they transferred over. Some of the aftermarket companies started to make ABS. So using cardboard for this isn't something unnormal. It's actually a good little trick and tip you can do to strengthen it. As long as you can get the glue good and whatnot, I like to use ABS glues, low melt glue sticks. You get them on Amazon. Real cheap, real easy, works great. So we got to cut the fabric, and we got to get going on that so we can wrap that, get this ready to go. Then we got door panels to do. These door panels got to come apart. These two sections here, that we're going to get a replacement piece for. With these door panels, they're getting wrapped cow print too, which is really, really cool. So basically, less talking and let's get into it. Got 3M headliner adhesive glue, and basically, thanks to Bob, just stopped by and brought me it so we can get the cowhide on. So basically, you are going to want to do about, I don't know, 16 sections the whole way over. If you take the headliner, divide it into 16, how many sections? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, so on. So basically, we're going to only do this little section. Why are we doing that? So the reason is this stuff does not flex. You can get the suede stuff that flexes a lot easier off the internet and whatnot. There's a couple websites that sell it, and you get the foam backing. This doesn't have foam backing. So basically, we have to work it real slow. And with working real slow, we want to get it inside these corners. You want everything to look nice, because if this doesn't look nice, the headlight or the starlight's not going to look nice, then the whole job ain't going to look nice, and then makes stuff look like crap, and we don't want that. So basically, spray this on. You'll let it probably cure dry for about a minute or so. You'll feel it tacky, and then once you feel it tacky, you can start laying this down. So, and I mean, this stuff, it sprays weird. You hold it back, you kind of watch how the fan goes. So if you get closer, it sprays better. If you get farther away, it makes it clumpy. You choose what you like. So I'm gonna get a nice base here. And I'm spraying healthy. I'm not skimping on this stuff, but remember to let it all dry. So like right there, I want to get real clumpy. Right along this edge, I'm real clumpy, right in this corner clumpy. The clumpy areas won't dry as fast as the flat, smooth, sprayed areas. So keep that in mind when you put this down so it doesn't soak through and actually ruin the material on top. So basically, I'm gonna get half this done, come back, tell you guys if I found anything or if there's anything different that I would do or so on and so forth. Alright, so as the clear is drying, I don't want to show you all that. You've seen it in multiple videos. I'll post more about it on social media. But anyways, we started the Starlight. And with the Starlight comes many headaches. A lot of people get really confused about how to do the Starlight. And this is a simpler one. But I like to show you guys that it's really not that hard. It's very time consuming. If you don't have patience, don't do it. If you don't have... not patience, but if you don't have the ability for an eye of things to make things tidy, to make things neat, if you're a little OCD, this will be a lot harder. You want to keep this as nice as possible. You want to keep a rat's nest out of all these microfibers, so on and so forth. So luckily, Bob has a couple Viper chairs up here, which are super comfy, which make this job 10 times easier. And we have sawhorses. So with the sawhorses, you're able to put the Starlight up top, so on and so forth. So what I like to do is split my Starlight into sections. So you could do this how you want, but usually you want to start from front to back, never back to front. And the reason why is because when you start doing it front, your strands will never overlap one another. As far as this one, I'm doing all the center first, then I'm gonna fill around the outside. It's not hard, but like I said, very intimidating your first try. So one thing I like to point out is I use a big sewing needle that I file down. And then using a big sewing needle, you're able to go boop and poke right through. So with this being I'm actually right on one of the, what do you call it? The supports. So let's go here. So you could just see how easy. Twist it, poke down, that's it. Make sure when you do this to take your time. Check every hole you do. Don't be pushing your headliner down and causing more issues and have to redo your headliner. So with that being said, kind of showed you the quick way of doing it. There's also multiple other ways to do it too, but do it the way that you please. As for this goes, let's get on this time lapse, let's get this done, and let's see the final product so this interior can go in this week. Emotions run. Emotions running free. All right, so as you've seen, I didn't want to record it all, but I got most of the headliner done. And basically I wanted to stop and explain why I'm not doing it all and kind of why I'm stopping, why I'm explaining. So basically we got the center all figured out, got all the holes poked, all coming down through. The big thing is right now is we want to glue all this. So basically you want to take a hot glue gun, low temp, and glue each strand. Make sure when you do this, best way to tell you how to do this is basically do one, wait, see if it melts the strand. If it does melt the strand, the light will still pass through. It's a fiber optic. Even if it bends, kinks, the light will still pass. But you want to keep them as nice as possible. So with that being said, when you glue it, wait about 2 seconds, push your strand through the glue, then push it down a little bit through the hole a little bit more. That helps cinch it in the hole and make sure it stays there for a super long time. But besides that, we got the other 2 loops for this side and this side to get put in, and that's what we're gonna do now. We got the paint work back there all done. I cannot wait to show you guys that after I'm done with this headliner. But let's get back to this because needless to say, I hate doing these and I need to get it done before Thursday.
Emotions run. Emotions running free. Emotions run.
To kind of re-strip it, I do this with every single headliner. This is personally what I like to do. And one thing I do is I usually do this on a paint stand or some sawhorses, kind of whatever you got. Some people do it a little bit differently. This is just how I do it. But anyways, I like to tie this up here. By tie, I mean tape. So tape it up, make sure it's tight. And you see in the video, I start laying my strands, so on and so forth. It's pretty self-explanatory. But anyways, we are gonna undo all this. And by undoing all this, we're gonna make a big mess. And with this big mess comes a nice reward after it. So basically what we are trying to do is just clean up our wiring. We have to run this through the actual inner structure of the first gen in the back here. And needless to say, that's not that easy, and we want it as clean as possible. This is getting in some daily driver. I wouldn't say you have to go to this extreme, but personally, if you're this invested in it, you might as well just finish it off. So what I'm doing right now is getting ready to strip it down. So what I'll do is I'll cut probably about most of the way down here. I'll cut every single piece of electrical tape that I had cinched up. Obviously this comes from China, it's factory and so on and so forth. But they put these little band like sleeves on it. All you have to do is just tape this real tight and then basically cut this band off again. And when you tape it that tight, it'll actually go back to its form. And when you have the strands coming out here, you just take a hot knife, preferably a sharp, thin knife is the best thing to use. Heat it up with a blowtorch, whatever you kind of got to heat it up basically, and you just cut through, you clean your edges up, you kind of like sand them or polish them, whatever you want to do, and you'll always end up with a nice edge to go back into your module, and that's the cheating way to do it. But let me get this, the rest of this cut, rest of this pulled back, and I'll show you what it's like after we cut this, and then basically pull it back and make everything real nice and real neat to where all these come in as one like individual piece. So, like I said, it's worth it if you're willing to take your time. You're gonna get into this and go, especially with like 1,000 piece, 700 piece, 800 piece, you're kind of gonna be like, man, I'm over my head. But If you have a roll of electrical tape, good electrical tape. It has to be 3M Super 33. I will say that though. But if you're willing to do it, it's well worth it, because now look how nice, how neat. I can flex this, I can put this down any pillar post, so on and so forth. But the next thing is we got to cut this. So pretty much just like I explained, what we're gonna do is start up the torch, heat this up obviously, and the most satisfying part is kind of, now we want this glowing red, only because it's just gonna cut a lot nicer. So we'll heat this up pretty good, get it nice and hot, and then we're just gonna cut it straight down. And this is exactly what they do in the factory, except they have a way better tool than a razor blade and a set of vice grips. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it works. It's called creativity, and that's all that matters. So, as we sit here and cut this, one more time through. Beautiful. So what I like to do now is I'll reheat the blade up on the clean side. I use both sides, and I'll skim this. So if I cut this a little cockeyed, a little angled, so on and so forth, got a little spot. Now I'm just being picky because when this goes into the module, you'll actually see, if I do show that, or actually when you guys install it, you'll see that it has to lay in there, not a certain way, but almost like flush, and that gives you the best. Now put these somewhere where no one's gonna touch them. Now you get a perfect cut. So this now will go into your unit that you actually are supplied with, and then you put the unit and wire your power to it. But as for now, this headliner is done. So let's get it in.